Well, we know that investors are obviously looking for signals for some of these bellwether companies. And as you mentioned, Google and Microsoft reporting earnings after the bell. Now, both have actually slowed hiring in the past month and seen price target cuts by Wall Street. So, Shauna, what are you keeping an eye on in those reports?
The cloud is going to be very important to both of these earnings reports, Rochelle, when we get the numbers from Alphabet and when we get the numbers from Microsoft. Just starting with Azure, because we really saw astonishing growth in this division during the pandemic. We saw that growth kind of start to fade just a bit. We're expecting 43% year over year gain when it comes to cloud revenue, their Azure product. But Dave, it could be a tough couple of days here as we do get more and more of these large cap tech names reporting earnings. We've already seen a number of these companies, Microsoft included, signal that they are going to pull back on hiring. It could be a tough couple of quarters here for the sector.
Really interested in the guidance looking forward more so than looking back. That's what we're eager to hear about. And really in particular with Alphabet, how negative is the overall macro ad buying environment? We know what we saw from Snap. That's a very different company than Alphabet. Alphabet shouldn't have the same exposure that they do. And same goes for Twitter. A very bad story for them, but we presume that Alphabet is a little bit more protected, but should be interesting to see what the macro environment looks like from them as well later on.
And when we look at some of these target price cuts that we're basically seeing investors sort of pulling in their collective breath, almost bracing for the worst. We've said that this is perhaps, the most clearly telegraphed potential recession that we could see. But seeing some of these price target cuts here from JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Barclays, Credit Suisse, Bernstein. So clearly bracing for the worst. Now, perhaps this is getting back to some sort of normalization. We were riding high for several years during the pandemic. Sort of reality had to hit at some point.
And we'll be interested to see.
Well, we're going to...
Yeah, and Rochelle, just real quick, because I want to point this out. With Microsoft, any commentary on the approval for its $75 billion deal for Activision Blizzard? We talk about gaming when it comes to Microsoft, the importance there, how big of a player they could potentially be in that space going forward. So that's going to be something that the street is keeping a close eye on in this report.